Hey y'all. So I'm just now coming out of the presence of God and spending time with God, and He pressed this on my spirit earlier today. Um, but He just reminded me again to make this video. I don't know who this video is for, but it's for somebody because my son is now 13 years old, right? But I was driving today, and my son was sitting in the front seat. I was taking him to school, and I just began to just like rub on his face and his head and his ears. Like when my kids were younger, and people who are younger in my family, I used to play with people's ears when I was younger, especially if they have like real big earlobes. It was just a thing I used to do. So like my brother, my cousin, like people who was around me who had like this big old part of the earlobe, I used to just sit and just play with their ears. It was just soothing to me. So I was doing that with my son while he was in the car, and I just remember when he was younger, he was diagnosed with autism, with Asperger's, and that's more of like a higher spectrum of kids who are autistic, and it's like it's a potential. What I've seen it happening before with other kids, but it's more of a higher function kids with autism, and they can um like work and do like normal life, normal activities, like far as in with other children, other adults who are like autistic. So basically that's what it is, just a higher spectrum, right? And I remember when he was younger, I struggled when he first was diagnosed. I was in denial. I found out when he was like 1.5, 2 years old. And I knew something was wrong because he didn't act like my other two children. I had two children prior to him, and he didn't act like them. Like the signs were just a little delayed. He didn't talk. He wasn't just doing certain things, and I knew something was wrong, but I just didn't know like what. I never even heard of autism and stuff like that, right? So I had a friend who told me about it because she worked with kids, and I was in denial, like, because I'm just like, nah, blah, blah, blah. And when I first found out he was diagnosed with autism, I was mad. Like, I was angry with God and upset. And I just remember all the treatments we had to go through, and him with therapy and all those stuff, right? And I remember one time I said, God, why did you allow this to happen? I said, why my son had to be autistic? And I just like, why me? And he said, why not? He said, why not? He said, I knew by placing him within your family, within replacing him with you, that you was going to take care of him, that you wasn't going to mistreat him, that you were going to love on him and give him so much love. Why wouldn't I place him in your womb? And I was just like, wow, God, that it's not always about us. Like, yes, God couldn't heal him, and he's doing great. Like, he learning his pace. In some ways, he like blows my mind with his learning. He's so gifted and talented, and just overall, like, that's my baby. But just to just say, like, God said, why not? Why not place him with you? Like, I know he's safe. I know he's loved. I know he's not gonna be mistreated. And my kids don't play about him. My family don't play about him. My friends don't play about him, right? Like, my baby is loved. He is full of love. And I'm trying not to get emotional, but I just like think about and worry, like, what if he get older? Do he gotta always stay with me? And just stuff like that. And I just think about his reality, like how he thinks. And I remember one time, like, his feelings was hurt, and I could see it on his face his little brother, right? They're 6 years apart, and they were playing, and I could just see it all over his face. And he was like, Chase hurt my feelings. He want to apologize to me and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't know, y'all, like the love, the innocence that he has, and it just melts my heart, you know. And sometimes I have to tend to like not push him so much because I be like, Jakari, like, why you can't do this? Why you can't do that? Why you? And forgetting like he does, you know, he's a little slower in his steps, and he's a little, you know, like give him grace, because I don't treat him no different. It's like, boy, you understand me, and he does, but it's still his brain is still processing differently, right? And right now he be checking us. He's like, I said, wait, I said, hold on, you know, and stuff like that. But um, just looking back, like God just is like, why not? Why not place him with you? You know? And I just think about like he could have been anywhere else and got mistreated, abused. I've been in the healthcare field for like 15 years, and I have worked in group homes, and I have worked with kids who are autistic and all this stuff. And like they come from, some of the families abandoned them and left them in group homes. Some of the family don't even come see them. No holidays and no nothing. Like, and I get to be with my baby. Like, you know, I don't know. But God said, why not? Why not place him there? And I just wanted to encourage somebody who's like going through it, and, you know, they got questions and asking God why, you know. Just look for the beauty in it, and look for the answers, and why, you know, what is God trying to do to us in the reality of it, and just things like that. Because God is a healer, he's a miracle worker. I didn't think my son was ever going to talk. You know, he started talking when he was like 4.5, 5, I think. And now he's 13, and baby, I can't get him to stop, you know. But just knowing that whatever you've been praying for, God would do it. He would do it. And I used to try to rush for him to get normal and be normal, but this is his normal. This is his normal. So let me embrace his normal, you know. But just believe God. Trust in God. Trust that he has everything planned out. And I accept whatever, you know. I just accept. And even some days, like he's 13, could be 14. And I just look, and some days I get a little like, dang, you know, look at the other kids. They get themselves dressed, and he get himself dressed, but like they getting up on their own. They getting to school by themselves and catching a bus on their own and stuff. And you know, my son still's like, I have to take him to the bus stop, and even my 7-year-old has to make sure he crosses the street right, because sometimes he won't pay attention and just drift. But look at the beauty, like the help behind it. Like my 7-year-old, that's his man. He don't play about him, okay? Like, but the love, it's the love. And even in the Bible, God says you can do all this stuff. You can prophesy, you can heal the sick, and you can do all these things. But if you don't have love, it's just wasted. It's nothing. That is nothing. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope it reach and encourage who it needs to encourage. But yeah, so I love y'all. Y'all be safe. And until next time, bye.